Get his take on what's going on, a former presidential candidate himself. Senator, always good to have you. How do you think this convention is going so far, these protests notwithstanding?
I think it's going really well. The unity and the excitement in the room is phenomenal, and it's just a very exciting moment.
There's a lot of pressure, obviously, on a lot of folks, but it comes with this backdrop, and I'm sure you've heard it, Senator, where jobs were trimmed a little bit in the latest adjustment out of the Department of Labor statistics showing that they're still robust, but about 800,000 plus fewer than we thought over roughly the last year. You worried about that?
Well, I'm worried about it for the country in the sense that we've got to make sure that we've got an economy that's delivering for working people. And we've got, in my view, a decades-long challenge in America that's resulted in a world where the bottom 50% of Americans today have less wealth than they had when Ronald Reagan was president of the United States. The bottom 50% of Americans own 2% of the wealth in America. The top 10% of Americans have 75% of the wealth. I'm not a Bolshevik. I'm not a socialist. Those are the facts, Neil, of our economy, and we have to find a way to address them as Americans. And I think reversing the kind of trickle-down economics that Donald Trump's tax policy represented and replacing it with something that actually supports working people, acknowledging that the Biden administration is the first administration to bring back an entire industry from overseas, when Reagan was the one that began the outsourcing to Southeast Asia and to China. I mean, look, this has been a problem on Democratic watches and Republican watches, but the American people desperately need us to have an economy that produces economic mobility for most Americans when it grows. That is what we have to do, and if we don't, that is what is going to cause us to lose the democracy.
What do you think? Kamala Harris has come up with a plan to try to freeze prices, and that's already gotten some criticism from the likes of the New York Times and the Washington Post, some former Obama officials themselves who ran the economy for him say it sounds gimmicky. Where are you on this?
I haven't been able to read it, and I don't know what the details of it are. I will say that she was one of the first people to sign on to My Child Tax Credit, which the Biden administration implemented and which cut childhood poverty for a moment in America by 50%. 90% of America's children benefited from that. 90% of the children in Colorado benefited from that. That is a huge difference than the Trump tax cuts, 65% of which went to the top 5% at a moment when we've got the worst income inequality that we've had since the 1920s. So it's that kind of tax policy, I think, that I am trying to get this party to endorse. And it's interesting to me that nobody less than J.D. Vance himself has now said we should have a tax credit of $5,000, which is more than I ever had proposed.
Senator, the differences over the party's platforms and the views on what will stimulate growth notwithstanding, I told you about this job, adjustment, and it still does show a little bit more than 2 million jobs, gained over this roughly 1 year period that's in question, but not the 2.9 million the administration said. And that's spurred talk that the Federal Reserve has to do something, come to the rescue, because things could be fading fast. Are you in that camp that says things are fading fast?
No, I'm not in the camp that things are fading fast. I'm not surprised that things are moving a little bit less quickly than we thought they were. And I do think that the Federal Reserve needs to pay attention to these numbers. But Neil, I believe this because we've talked about it before. I think the Fed kept this at zero for far too long. I think that was lousy monetary policy, and now, they kind of jerked us around by adjusting us in the other direction. So I hope if they move with caution, and the American people are able to have an economy in the long run that when it grows, they get to share in the benefit of that economic growth, that they can see themselves in the unbelievable economic power that is the United States of America. That's what the kids that I used to work for when I was the school superintendent in Denver, before I was in this job, that is what their families need, is broad-based economic growth that lifts and restores the middle class in this country. That's what we have to do. And I don't think that, again, I don't think that's a Bolshevik idea. I think the greatest American invention is our middle class. And both parties should be competing to how to restore that middle class.
All right, Senator, very good catching up with you. Senator Michael Bennet of Colorado. Good seeing you, sir.
Great to see you, Neil.